Hi, this is Will Stewart from OnlineChessLessons.net, and I'll be continuing my coverage of Amber 2011. And I'll be presenting a rapid game from round 8 by Vassily Ivanchuk of Ukraine against Boris Gelfand of Israel. And so let's get on it. Ivanchuk pretty much plays things, so never be surprised. Petroff, usually seen as an opening by it's been getting more popular lately, but typically fairly drawish. Pretty solid defense black. And this has been a pretty topical line in the past few years, and with good reason. Black gets some decent activity, and white, it leads to more dynamic positions than traditionally the Petroff in the past, the C4 idea. The idea has been around for a while, but recent developments, I guess it's a try for more dynamic double-edged play. And pretty much all these moves make sense. Pretty logical. Black is developing pieces. White is trying to maintain good control of the center. And take white in these positions. Bishop f4, a nice move, getting pressure, tying this rook down. I tend white in these positions simply because he's got a more open game. But black does have good development. And black's plan is to try to use make white's center here more of a weakness than a strength. And g3 is kind of an interesting move. Maybe the direct bishop g3, but g3 makes sense. Maybe later white wants to put a bishop on g2, so it can't be criticized, that move. And bishop f6, sure, common sense, just put pressure on the center. Maybe the knight's going to come in and put pressure on it as well. Possibly a c5 idea. Rook c1. I see a lot of weaker players. They would rush to play c4 there. But you want to make sure you get all your pieces developed and centralized before you start trying to get fresh with your pawns. Especially, that's going to weaken the d4 pawn a lot. And now c4. When everything is, white's got great centralized pieces. His pawns are ready to roll, and black's got a solid position. These bishops are controlling a lot of squares, and maybe these pawns will become weak in the center, but remains to be seen. Now queen a5, the pawn on a3, does it matter? Well, Ivanchuk doesn't seem to think so, and he rushes with the immediate d5. Seems it's got to be the best move. You don't want to let black regroup and put more pressure on those pawns. And a nice little combination, I guess, if you will, by Ivanchuk. Always active play. You don't. Queen b3 in this position it's not bad, but after a move, say bishop d6, black does have the two bishops, and it looks like these pawns by white are not that strong, and the two bishops, a big advantage. So, as often is seen, when the other side has the two bishops, you want to trade one of the bishops so they can't work together so effectively. And here, I guess, Gelfand didn't like the fact that this would centralize white's queen, and maybe, and also protect this pawn with tempo. So it's kind of like white just gained a move or two. And maybe white's idea was if bishop here, I don't know. It seems to me that with this pressure on this a3 pawn, black is doing just fine. I don't really see why Gelfand didn't go into this with this bishop takes d3 move. But he goes to keep the two bishops, which is understandable, and put pressure, put a little more pressure on white's position, because it's tough. In this, it's kind of tough to defend the knight. But maybe he wanted to play f5 here. Possibly he shied away from this due to maybe a continuation such as this. White sacrifices an exchange, but these light squares are going to be quite weak around black's king. Just an idea. Possibly the direct queen g6, even better. So maybe that's, he after bishop f5, maybe he just missed that was so strong. So after f4, just queen f3 takes, and now we're starting to see. So we got an opposite color bishop in game. White's got a little more space in the center with these pawns, but they're on the same colors as bishop, so the pawns aren't really moving anywhere. It's gonna be tough to move them. And bishop b2, black just said, hey, if I can take this pawn and kind of get out of this mess, because if he just takes it immediately, this is getting tactically refuted. Possibly he can just take the pawn, but maybe we see something, rook e1 first, and this is not going to work. Just tactically, there's no way this idea works. Not to mention all the weaknesses. So he can't take the pawn immediately. So b2 trying to make it work. And if he can scoop this pawn, opposite colored bishop endgames are very drawish. But one thing they do, one characteristic of opposite color bishop endgames or any kind of games is this favors the attacking side because there's nothing to oppose the bishop. So if black can swing his bishop around to c5 and put pressure on white, easier said than done, though. Ivanchuk is a very resourceful player. And black does take on. Now c5, obviously can't take it and hang that bishop on b2. King over, and now Ivanchuk really just goes on the offensive. If takes, this queen still can't move. So black did snatch one pawn, but it's going to be tough for him to get these pawns rolling. He's got to worry about getting checkmated first. And now queen takes. Black was trying to trade pieces, neutralize one of white's pieces. And so black, now that was threatening mate, and there wasn't really a good way out. This simply loses. Not going to work. So after queen to h7, now Ivanchuk just takes it. And Ivanchuk had 40 seconds at this point, Gelfand about 5 minutes. And Ivanchuk in time trouble just seals the deal. And I don't know how black can get out of this. Maybe if I was black, I would play something like what he played. Queen check and bishop there. Yeah, it's tough to recommend a move. I'd maybe look at this idea, although I think it just doesn't work. I think after takes, the sacrifice was very strong by Ivanchuk, simply dominating the 7th rank. There's all kind of mate ideas, plus this pawn here. This is white's king is too safe here. It's too hard to get checks at it. After bishop there, now white's just threatening mate, their move now, and a simple tactic to finish the game by Ivanchuk with 20 seconds against Gelfand's 3 minutes out of starting with 25 minutes with a 10-second increment. And now Boris Gelfand resigned here because simple tactic. It's very difficult to. I don't know what I'd recommend black here. How does he stop this mate? And any kind of move like that allows the same tactic in the game, a check picking up and probably mate soon to follow. So after queen f6, rook takes g7, and Ivanchuk just makes it look easy. Picking up the rook, gonna promote the pawn, that's game over. So a great game by Vassily Ivanchuk, a good, he was in time trouble, just pulled it out at the last minute with a very effective sacrifice. And Ivanchuk is playing pretty solidly. He's not at the top of the leaderboard, but he's up there. And Gelfand's having an okay tournament. So this is Will Stewart from OnlineChessLessons.net, and thanks for tuning in.